This show is brought to you by Buttkicker. Want to take your gaming, music, movies, and of course racing simulations to a whole new level of realism? Do it with a Buttkicker tactile transducer. Right now you can get 10% off of these packages by using coupon code ISR10 at thebuttkicker.com. Welcome to Inside Sim Racing and my review of Game StockCar 2013 by Ritza Studios. And if you're wondering what stock cars they're talking about, it's the Brazilian Stock Car Championship. And that name can be pretty misleading because you're going to think that it's just about that, and there's a lot more to this title than just the Brazilian stock cars. Actually, I think my favorites in this game are the 4 different open wheel cars that come with it. It comes with a Formula 3, Formula Retro, Classic, and then a current Formula 1 car. Besides that, it includes the stock cars like I mentioned, also includes Mini Cooper race car, Camaro, current gen, which obviously I like a lot, and a retro Brazilian stock car that I guess was one of the first cars in the series, and it's called the Opala stock car. Lots of tracks included in this title. I don't know the exact count, but most of them are all Brazilian, or all of them are Brazilian tracks. They've actually announced recently that they're going to start going international and including some more tracks from around the world. I think one of them was Montreal, so going to be great to see some other tracks included with this title. But I love that it's got all these Brazilian tracks that I've never really driven or tried except for with their title. So it's a whole new experience, you know, as far as sim racing goes. Night racing is also implemented on all the tracks, and I'm not sure if that was the case in 2012 and 11, but this title's pretty much been around for 3 years now. This is the 3rd generation of it. That's about as much detail as I'm going to go into as far as the box cover stuff, but I'd like to invite you guys to come to our website, and I'm going to have a full written review of this title, and you know, I'm going to talk more in depth about graphics, physics, sounds, force feedback, that kind of stuff. But for this review, what I'm going to do is do some test drives like we've been doing recently. For starters, I'm going to run the Formula 3 at, and I know the first 2 words, but the last 2, I'm not sure how they exactly pronounce them in Portuguese, but it's Santa Cruz do Sol, or I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to call it Santa Cruz. It's a fun-flowing track. Got some high-speed sections. I'm going to run against 20 AI cars, including myself. Well, 21 including myself. A little bit about my system. I've got an AMD 6-core PC with 16 gigs of RAM, dual 580 GTX, Nvidia graphics cards, running 3 22-inch Asus monitors, a TX1 with the GTE rim, and I've got T500 pedals attached, so I've got full function of the clutch. I'm using this Derek Speare Designs button box, and I'm using my Sim Instruments display. Now, I'd love to be using my shifter and my other DSD box and maybe a separate set of pedals, but this dated game engine only allows 3 peripherals attached at once. So luckily I'm able to attach the pedals to the wheel here. Can use this button box. You know, I could use the shifter, but especially for the Formula cars, I'd rather just paddle shift. And then for the second race, I'm only gonna do 5-minute race, by the way. It's about 6 laps at this track. Start at the back and see if I can work my way up. Oh, can't forget, I'm running Sim Vibe in extensions mode, which really brings this title to life. You know, the data coming out of this ISI R-Factor G-Motor engine really gets some great feedback into the Sim Vibe software, and I got it running under my pedals, under my seat, so you might hear some vibrations going on while I'm racing here, and if you're wondering what it is, that's it. Actually, real quick, my wheel settings. I'm running only about 300 degrees of rotation. You can see that's where my lock is here, if you can see it from this back view. And the reason why, again, it's this dated game engine. It doesn't adjust if you're running 900 degrees of rotation. So for me, I just set it at 300 in the Thrustmaster profile, and then I can make adjustments to my setup and stuff. Another thing I do too for my setup is I crank up the steering lock to about 30 degrees. Default's about 14, and it's just not enough for me. It's not twitchy enough, I guess you could say. So, gonna get things started. Let me turn up some sound here. I had it on mute. Okay, so we got a quick before the race, just shows you some images of the track. I got the AI turned up to 100%, and looks like I'm going to grid here. I've got the starter set up for when I stall because I'm not running auto clutch. Notice I had to start the motor. Yep, there we go. On the grid. Again, starting at the back and see if I can make it as close to the front as I can. Made it up to third in one of my races earlier. And here we go. By the way, if you guys hear a beep, that's coming from my Sim Instruments dash. It beeps when you hit the rev limiter. So I can make a pass here. Going, yeah, get a few positions here going into turn one. Down into first, just to get a little grunt there. Oh! That section's almost flat out when there's no traffic right there. Being a little aggressive, see if I can get through some of this traffic. I've only got about 15 cars showing, so you may see some cars blinking in and out up front there, just to keep the frame rates solid. You know, the higher you can keep your frame rates up over 60 frames per second. Pay attention here, I'm below my engine. Whoa, pushing me wide. Oh, look at that. I guess AI is pretty intuitive. And it looks like they pushed me wide, but I think they're just being aggressive. We're all in a pack here. But I've had some great racing with them. None of them punting me. Had them making... Oh, someone bumped me there. That was cool. Make some outside passes on me. Look at that guy on the outside trying to make a move. Let's see if I can get by this little group. Feeling some great vibration coming through Sim Vibe here in the seat and in the pedals. Also, the force feedback is just amazing. By the way, they're using Real Feel, which if you're an old R Factor fan, you're familiar with it, or you should be. There you go, this is flat out through here. Whoa, whoa, whoa! See how you can catch slides really easily. Well, not real easily, I was working it there. Better pay attention. I'm gonna choke here. To move my brake bias forward just a hair. It's not so so I don't get oversteer under braking. I'm up to 15, so I picked up 6 positions so far. Oh, if you're a beep, that's my Sim Instruments dash hitting the rev limiter, or telling me that I'm on the rev limiter. I gotta say, it's not easy to focus while you're talking and driving, so if I miss apexes or look like I don't know what I'm doing, it's because I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. Like that apex I just missed. Gotta say, I don't think I'm gonna make it up to third like I did in my first AI race. Nice, he kind of let me go there. I like that section, kind of go flat out through there, and you got a nice braking section here. Oh, I'm gonna make it! Oh man! Well, got some damage front end. See how it affects the handling here. I can see it on my little car status window. That's definitely pushing a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely affected the handling. Definitely don't have as much front end grip as I did to start with. 1 minute remaining, 1 minute remaining. I don't think this is the track I ran originally, because I was able to run 6 laps in a 5-minute race in one of my tests. Nonetheless, this is a fast track, one of the Brazilian tracks I talked about. Never run here before. It's a lot of fun. Some great elevation changes. Nice flow to it. Great braking sections. Some high-speed sections. But I am struggling. There's no way I'm going to catch those guys up ahead of me. So I should have one lap after this. Because the time just ran out. Yeah, this thing's pushing like a... Oh! It's like I'm holding up the AI now, too. Missing my marks big time. Frame rate's pretty solid. Saw a few little hiccups there. Last lap. Whoa, he gave me a little bump there. I guess they're tired of waiting. Told you, they can get aggressive. They're not waiting. They're the last lap. They're going for it. Got another guy waiting to pass it. Whoa! Guess he didn't like me running over his back wheel. Doesn't look like I took any extra damage on with that wheel-to-wheel contact. I don't know if you can hear the rumble. That's the rumble strips. Sim Vibe hitting the rumble strips. One quarter to go. Let's see if I can hold this 14th position. Yeah, looks like they're not going to make a pass. He was trying. So, there you have it, my first race. Whew, sweating a little bit, man. That was not the track that I had planned on racing. I ran another track earlier, and again, I'm not too familiar with these tracks. Wonder where I was. Maybe Ribeiro, Preto. Heck, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the names. Interlagos is the only one that I'm familiar with, and I think that's where I'm going to run next. So let's get out of here. I'm just going to keep things rolling. Switching the UI here. You can see I can switch from the karts to the formulas, and then the stock car. So going to do a single race. Got to pick the Chevrolets. And do another 5-minute, bump the AI up to 100. Gonna go 50% aggression. Let this load. So, while I'm waiting for this to load up, loading screen's pretty typical of a PC game. Not too bad. I mean, as far as loading time, gets you pretty much right into the game. You can run practice sessions, I think up to 3 practice sessions. You can do timed races. You can do a rolling start, standing start. Needless to say, I'm doing a standing start here. Oh wait, I'm going back to Santa Cruz. No, we don't want to do that. It's actually going to take a little time out here, switch it over to Interlagos, get at the back of the pack, and see what I can do in one of the stock cars. Okay, so loading up Interlagos now, and man, that last race was definitely not one of my best efforts. Again, I thought I was running a different track. And I've been going through all these tracks, just having fun, just learning them and you know, running laps at them and seeing how the AI interacts and you know how much feeling I'm getting in the wheel. Ooh, Rubens Barrichello, which by the way, I heard Rubens runs this title. He's a sim racer. Maybe that's some footage. I'll show you guys some footage of him running this. But yeah, he's a sim racer. I think I heard he's going to be running in this series. Maybe that's why he's in the listed in the on the grid here. Let's do some tweaks to the setup here. I don't think I have any kind of setup for these cars, and I have nothing saved. So, like I mentioned before, we're going to add some steering lock. Brake bias is good. 8 laps. Shouldn't have to go. Should take out some fuel. So, actually, we'll go 7 gallons. Anyway, just going to see how far I can make it. and give you an idea of, it'll give you an idea how the AI reacts again. Which, by the way, they were battling me hard in that last race. So they're a lot of fun. For AI, I'd say one of the best, or if not the best AI I've seen, probably on the PC. So, I have the sound off here. This car sounds wicked. Right, here we go. I'm going to take it easy in this race, not try to push it too hard and get up to third like I did last time. Like I say, these cars sound wicked. Let the tires warm up too. At this rate, I might just be at the back. Oh, these guys are braking early. I say I'm going to take it easy, and I just dive bomb 4 guys. No harm, no foul. Ooh, you guys getting sideways up ahead of me here. I'm going to try to overtake there, not happening. They're trying to get me though. First was a little too low there. Okay, Interlagos is making its presence known in quite a few sims recently. Actually, I should say one other just came out for iRacing recently, and I gotta say this version is pretty awesome. You know, compared to the laser scan version that iRacing has to offer. Lots of great feel in the track, and you can see my wheel dancing around a little bit there. Take a pass here. Yeah, I think I got him. So these are far from stock cars. You know, maybe like NASCAR originally were stock-based cars. These probably were too. That Opel stock car, Opala stock car. On the curb there and getting loose. These are race cars though, like a touring car, Brazilian touring car, I guess you could call it. Chevys, Fords. I'm assuming based on some cars that they sell there in Brazil. You know, they definitely don't sell the same cars in America that they do in the rest of the world. Which is kind of a trip. You see a car, you're like, what the heck is that? And a Chevy? And I'm just kind of babbling, and that guy's pushing me out. Guy trying to pass me on the outside too. Up to 14th. Default setup, I have done nothing to this setup except change that steering ratio. We have a push to pass in this, which I have not set up to use. Hey, I started making a move on me there. I had to brake late. Had a little frame glitch there. Not really a glitch, just definitely frame rate hit. Graphics are a little dated in game StockCar, I have to say. You know, that has to do with the engine, you know, the graphics engine. You know, they're basically using a 10-year-old graphics engine. I think R Factor came, was it 2004? No, not 2004 R Factor came out. That was later that, maybe 2006. It's still a dated game engine that these guys really know how to massage. I'm starting to get into a groove here. I don't think I'm going to let that guy pass, even if he makes a move on this. I make a big mistake. Good feeling in the oversteer there. Totally controllable. Ooh, cool downshifting sound. No time remaining. They're trying to make a pass. See if I can hold them off. They're doing the push to pass, I bet, which I didn't set up. Totally forgot about it. Back through that section, some other frame rates, bog, I should say, just kind of frame rate hit, I could call it. I think that push to pass or lack of is killing me. These guys just ran away from me in that lap. Great feel on the wheel. I can feel the curbs, feel the surface differences, you know, bumps and stuff like that. I'm gonna get past. Got a little bump there. Let's see if I can hold them off. I did. They're battling behind me. It's almost flat. Whoa! I might be able to hold them off and finish a dismal 14th. I was able to pick up 7 positions. That ain't horrible. So, there you go. Some game stock car by Rita. Now I'm going to go over some notes that I had to wrap things up here. Actually, some pros and cons, and then give you some, man, breaking out a little sweat here. Pros and cons, rev scale, and final thoughts. So, first let's go over the pros. Great physics, tied to really strong, accurate force feedback. And again, I mentioned using, I don't know if I did mention it, I'm in the middle of running my races there. It uses Real Feel technology, which was a plugin that came out for R Factor that, I don't know, they licensed or were allowed to use from the original maker of it. But if you haven't used Real Feel in R Factor, you are missing out, because it takes the force feedback to a whole another level. The default force feedback in R Factor was kind of weak. So anyway, great physics and force feedback. Next pro, this takes the ISI G Motor 2 engine, in my opinion, to the highest level it can achieve. In my opinion, this is the best that this engine gets. Beats anything that Simbin's done, in my opinion. Beats the other guys that have done some stuff. It's just really well done. These guys know how to massage this game engine as far as it can go. And let me take it to the graphics too. This is the best, you know, they've really dialed in the graphics on this title and got it to where it looks pretty dang good for a dated engine, you know. And for me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't take away from the racing. You know, main thing I want is physics and force feedback and, you know, a good racing experience, especially something like this with the AI. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I broke a sweat racing against a bunch of computer cars, so if that tells you anything. Next pro, lots of content for 25 bucks. I mean, where can you beat that price anywhere in PC sim racing or on the console? I mean, you know, you got the 4 formula cars, you got the stock cars, the minis, you know, you got lots of stuff to choose from. And then it's moddable. So you can add mods. I got Monaco loaded on this thing. I heard there's a, God, I don't even know the name of it. Blunt Pain or something like that mod where there's, I think it's like a GT series. So a moddable title. Another pro cost, 25 bucks. You know, you can't beat it. Probably best bang for the buck in all of PC sim racing right now on the software side. And Last Pro, this title gets better with age. They, you know, they've really, from 2011 to this, have really massaged this title, and it's, like I said, best bang for the buck probably in all of sim racing right now. All right, so let's go to the cons. I've been mentioning it's a dated game engine, and it definitely can take away from what I think this could be. Let's say if they were using the R Factor 2 engine, you know, I could use a lot more peripherals. I could be using my shifter now, my other box, and not have to worry about that separate pedals if I wanted. So those are actually two cons. The ability to only have 3 controllers and the dated game engine. Another con, this is just kind of nitpicky. There's no place to see the track data. I don't know how long these tracks are unless I go into, it's called a GDB file basically within Windows and file management, and then you can see the length of the track. So, like I said, kind of nitpicky, but would have liked to have that. Another con, you can only drive the karts on the kart tracks, and you can't, not that I want to take any of these cars on the other tracks, but would have liked to have taken the karts on the other track, and not a big con, but, and then my last con is the user interface is a tad dated. I'll actually go back out to it. You know, triple screen, some of the stuff's cut off, like I'm not seeing the first letter of the words here. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's not too hard to navigate. You know, it's pretty easy to get around, so it's not that big a deal. So that's going to lead me, that's all for the pros and cons. And that's going to lead me to the rev scale. And man, current game engine, more peripherals, I would have given it a 10. But since it's a little dated and there is a few cons, I have to drop it down to a 9. That's pretty much going to wrap it up, except for my closing thoughts. You know, just when you think this game engine's dead, and I don't think it's going to be dead for a long time with all the mods that are out for R Factor and just, you know, the price of admission there. But just when you think this is dead and, you know, something like this comes along, and it really just shows you how powerful that engine is. Something else I'd like to say about it is, you know, I think they need to change the name of this title. You know, game StockCar is a little deceiving, I guess you could say, and people could either think it's a NASCAR that they're talking about, or if in Brazil you might know it's StockCar, but you know, I've seen in our forums that a lot of people are like, well, what is it? And you know, I think they should change it to something like Ritza Simulated Racing or something like that, that doesn't just narrow it to stock cars, because there's a lot of content in this title, and you know, it might be misleading by the name. So that's pretty much it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys come up with next. I would love to see what they could do with the R Factor 2 engine. I know they were supposed to be doing an Ayrton Senna title. By the way, I will say really quick that the Formula Classic is Ayrton Senna's McLaren that he raced, and that thing is a handful. It is a lot of fun. Formula Retro is a lot of fun. Every car in this title is a lot of fun. The Camaro, if you like to drift, that Camaro is a drift machine. So that's going to wrap it up. Remember, check out our blog. I'm going to have a link in our description here for a full in-depth review. Going to talk more about the tracks, a little bit more about each car. And again, I only drove 2 cars in this test drive. And want to hear your comments, you know, in my review, and maybe you point out something that I left out. But man, Ritza, great job again. You guys kick ass, and again, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come out with next. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Come visit our blog at our website, isrtv.com. Thank you for tuning in to my review of Game StockCar 2013 by Ritza Studios. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.